following program is produced at and funded by Lyndon State College, the college of the Northeast Kingdom.
Coming up tonight on News 7.
Police busted a meth lab in one local town, and we have all the details.
Can you spot counterfeit money?
And a few months ago, Hope changed its locations. We'll have an update on the move and how it's been going so far. News 7 starts right now.
Live from the Vermont Center for Community Journalism, this is News 7 at 5:30.
I'm Alexa Richard alongside Connor Cyrus.
2 arrests have been made in Reigate after police discovered a meth lab. Vermont State Police, Hazardous Response Team, and Bomb Squad were on the scene at 375 Boltonville Road shortly after 10 a.m. 28-year-old Daniel Roy of Reigate, Vermont, and 32-year-old Jason Richardson of Woodsville, New Hampshire, are in police custody. The investigation is still ongoing.
This morning, just a little after 10 a.m., the Vermont State Police, with the assistance of Vermont Hazardous Response Team and other organizations, executed a search warrant at 375 Boltonville Road in the town of Reigate. The warrant was the result of information that was received a couple days ago regarding the manufacturing of methamphetamines at the residence.
A court date for the accused will be set in the near future. The St. Johnsbury police arrested 3 individuals in connection to an ongoing drug investigation. Alexandra Van Dorn and Jessica Gray, both of St. Johnsbury, were taken into custody yesterday and charged with selling drugs. Corey Jones of St. Johnsbury was also arrested with charge of selling heroin. Van Dorn and Gray are expected to appear in court on October 24th.
Police responded earlier today to a rollover on Route 122 near Sheffield. Wheelock, Sheffield, St. Johnsbury, Lindenville, and Linden Rescue all responded to the scene. According to police, 43-year-old Benjamin Thurber of St. Johnsbury left the road and ended up in the opposite traveling lane where he hit a telephone pole. Thurber had to be extracted from the vehicle before being transported to NVRH by Linden Rescue. The cause of the crash is still under investigation.
Somewhere around 11:30, we got towed for a motor vehicle accident with entrapment. So that brought Lindenville Fire in automatically for their jaws. And then for more manpower, we brought in St. Johnsbury for added jaws resources.
A resident said she's not surprised because people drive way too fast on that street.
Do you think you can tell the difference between a real and counterfeit bill? Some businesses in St. Johnsbury have reported fake cash being spent at their stores. Alex Paddock learned some tips and tricks on how to tell the difference between real and fake money at a local bank.
This week, some cash drawers in St. Johnsbury have been feeling a bit emptier because of counterfeit bills. The investigation is still ongoing with the St. Johnsbury Police, but we stopped by a bank to learn what to watch out for.
The uscurrency.gov website actually has a resource tab. There's short videos that will help banks and merchants on how to identify counterfeit currency.
But sometimes the fakes can be so realistic, the human eye can't even catch them.
We did have bills in the past. The money counter was the only thing that detected it was a counterfeit.
Exactly. United States currency has many security features to make it nearly impossible to forge this cash.
The bills now all have a security thread built into the paper, as well as watermarks. So when you hold them up to the light, you're able to see a watermark, whether it be a portrait or the number of the bill.
Anderson says that the easiest way to spot a fake is to simply check the paper and see if it feels right.
There's an actual special paper that's used, so the feel of the bill definitely does not feel like photocopy paper. A counterfeit bill many times will feel like a piece of copy paper.
Reporting for News 7, I'm Alex Paddock in Lindenville.
Although the cash is the current issue, Anderson says the bigger problem is counterfeit checks, which offer less security features and can be easily forged. 2 St. Johnsbury Dollar Tree employees have been charged with embezzlement. The Vermont State Police began an investigation into the incident on September 14th. The investigation found that Rochelle Chaquette and Maisha Reed illegally obtained over $8,000 of goods from the store on multiple occasions since April. The 2 are expected to appear in court on November 11th.
Last August, the Vermont State College Board of Trustees endorsed Chancellor Jeb Spalding's concept to, quote, unify Linden and Johnson colleges by creating a college with two distinct campuses. The trustees liked the idea, but asked Spalding to do more research and bring them a feasibility report before making a final decision in 2 weeks. Chancellor Spalding thinks the vote is a foregone conclusion.
You know, as somebody that's been working on this for close to a year now, I believe that this is the right solution.
But questions remain about Spalding's unification plan, both on the campuses and in the communities where the two schools are major employers and attract students who spend money. Will federal officials grant a waiver to a new college so that students at Johnson and Linden can still use federal financial aid? Nearly 90% of students here at Linden State College receive federal financial aid. That's $5 million, 1/3 of the school's total operating budget. Without a waiver, it's going to be 2 years before the new unified college can receive federal financial aid. The Special Unification Committee formed by the Chancellor to help with the study has other technical questions that have not been answered. Spalding says he has no backup plan if a fatal flaw is uncovered during the research.
We'll cross that bridge if that happens. It's likely that the board will approve the Chancellor's recommendation at the end of September.
News 7 asked each of the 15 trustees how they will vote. 4 responded, including the chair. They all said they would vote yes even before the feasibility report is delivered. Trustee Jim Maslin said that the board has worked on the project for longer than the public is aware, so he will be voting yes. Those were the only 4 responses. They arrived before Chairperson Martha O'Connor realized News 7 had polled the entire board.
I understand that people get nervous in times of uncertainty, and change is always unsettling.
Spalding says even if board approval of his plan is a foregone conclusion, the research underway in the presentations, discussions, and questions, with or without answers, is valuable.
I think the meetings are very valuable for us to explain to people exactly what we're doing and why, and getting their input on the issues that we need to be careful of.
Jeb continues to collect information about how people feel about unification. He will be on the Linden State College campus on Monday to speak with faculty. Linden State College will soon be tobacco-free no later than fall 2018, says the Vermont State Board of Trustees. The VSC Chancellor's Office has urged all of their campuses to put together a plan, as well as work with the campus community. The college has put together a plan that is expected to be completed by November 1st. The search for a missing Bradford woman is now over. Vermont State Police are reporting that Lucinda Pauley has been found safe after being reported missing on Tuesday. Pauley was staying in an assisted living facility on Route 5 in Bradford, where she walked away that morning.
Even more changes are being made to the Vermont healthcare exchange system. Governor Peter Shumlin's biggest frustrations are the long waiting times to the call centers. Shumlin met with the president of the company, who says they will bring on more staff to reduce the wait times. In a Washington, D.C. press conference at his new hotel, Donald Trump said today for the first time Barack Obama was born in the United States. Diane Gallagher has a story.
Barack Obama has been the president for nearly 8 years, but Friday, his birthplace, once again dominating a presidential campaign trail. This time with one of the country's most prominent so-called birthers, Republican nominee Donald Trump, finally acknowledging that President Obama was, in fact, born here.
President Barack Obama was born in the United States, period.
It's a far cry from the conspiracy theory Trump has been peddling for years.
Why doesn't he show his birth certificate? I thought he was probably born in this country, and now I really have a much bigger doubt.
He gave a birth certificate. Whether or not that was a real certificate, because a lot of people question it, I certainly question it.
Earlier today, Hillary Clinton blasted her opponent.
His campaign was founded on this outrageous lie. There is no erasing it in history.
Trump, meanwhile, tried to place the birther blame on her.
Hillary Clinton and her campaign of 2008 started the birther controversy. I finished it.
Now, factcheck.org determined that is not true, saying that back then Clinton may have stoked questions about Obama's identity, but never herself questioned his birth certificate. The president, meanwhile, seems, well, over it.
I was pretty confident about where I was born. I think most people were as well.
In Washington, I'm Diane Gallagher.
A local Vermonter is now being supported by Senator Bernie Sanders in her quest to become a U.S. Senator. Zephyr Teachout became a liberal standard bearer since her run against Governor Andrew Cuomo in 2014. Teachout is running against Republican John Faso in a much-anticipated race for an open swing seat in the state of New York.
The Village Sports Shop at Darling Hill has made some changes to some of its inventory. News 7's Haley Lyons gives you a taste.
Warm coffee and cold drinks. That thought couldn't sound better to the trail riders at the Village Sports Shop in Linden.
Easy to kind of come here, chill out, maybe get something to drink or whatever, and hang out and just enjoy the view. So
the Village Trailside Sports Shop originally started as a one-floor destination across the road. And now it's moved into the barn across the street, with the added option of beer and espresso.
I love it. I think it's a great idea because now it caters to more than one thing.
It had been a dream of mine to offer coffee and beer in the shop for a while. And when Jim mentioned that the barn was going to be empty, I just had this amazing vision of this shop in this location with this clientele and the amazing staff that we have.
You know, something that has a deeper meaning than just hey, let me sell you this. You know, it's like you have a family and a community that gets built around this, and it's super strong and pretty awesome in that respect.
The food and the beers on tap are all produced in Vermont, and the smiling faces and warm welcomes come from the community the shop has built.
This has character that we feel really reflects more who we are.
Just a northern Vermont shop showing us that it's the little things that matter. Haley Lyons, News 7, Linden.
Fall foliage season is not yet in full swing, so there is still time for you leaf peepers to catch a glimpse of some of the colors. The state's foliage report on Wednesday said most of Vermont's forests are very green and still in the earliest stages of the color development. In this early stage of foliage season, leaf peepers are urged to visit the Northeast Kingdom. The Tourism Department says the leaves are generally start changing in higher, cooler areas in the Green Mountains first. And now Haley Boulay joins us for a first look at our forecast. Haley, were you expecting some cooler temperatures?
Yeah, cooler temperatures are really what the fall foliage needs, and we had them last night. Current conditions out over the region, just some high cirrus clouds out over the Sheffield Heights. Temperatures sitting at 68 degrees, so a very fall-like day, even though the leaves aren't really showing it right now. Dew point sitting at a very comfortable 52 degrees, so it is a nice day. Hopefully you're able to enjoy your Friday afternoon. Temperatures around the region, 71 degrees in St. Johnsbury, 71 degrees as well in Mooresville. Highgate, you're sitting at 65 degrees. A nice day across the region, and we're seeing temperatures much of the same across much of New England. 68 degrees in the city of Boston, 74 degrees in Albany, so a nice day all across New England. Nothing to speak of on the satellite and radar, just a little deck of clouds up towards the Bangor and parts of Maine, but really nothing else to speak of on the satellite radar. It is a beautiful day out there. So for your first forecast for tonight, we aren't going to drop quite as cold, 47 degrees, and for tomorrow we're going to see 73 degrees and mostly sunny skies. Guys, back to you.
Thank you, Haley, and there's more to come on News 7 after the break.
Last spring, Hope moved its location. We'll take a look at how the move is going.